guess even back to the performance side, I looked back at the bull market for Bitcoin during the entirety of 2017, and the last big move on HEX had higher returns than the entire bull market in 2017. So Bitcoin 91x from start to finish 2017. HEX well exceeded that amount by at least 1.5x or more, depending on how much you staked and how much ROI you got additional from the big payday bonus. So
Yes.
the results are in the charts. The moves have been substantially bigger and much sooner with respect to where it is in its timeline. So, I think just looking back at you over time, you have a lot of data points to work off of, and the results are amazing. I mean, I guess I don't quite understand like any stigma maybe that exists on crypto Twitter. I mean, if you just look across all the communities on crypto Twitter, the fact is HEX has by far like the most engagement in the space aside from perhaps Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's very clearly starting to, from my view, from like an engagement standpoint, it's much more active. There's far more streams. It's just a much more decentralized community in general. There's events going on. Maddie's streaming right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. And then the ROI metrics, the move from 30% of a penny up to about 50 cents, that was a bigger return than the entire bull market for Bitcoin in 2017. So that it was incredible. So we see it here. The results are they're in the charts. So I at this point, it's really just a question of time when it hits the next band on the ROI multiple. So it's looking very, very good in terms of the macros.
Yeah, and if you look at the history, right? Because another thing we like to say all the time, quick math. Some people don't get that. When something dips 75, 80% or whatever, like we talked about all the time, when you do the return move from that bottom, it's an easy on average, again, 3.7x. We have literally charted this over and over and over again. This is where the wisdom comes in when Richard posts all those posts and when we talk about all the time. So knowing what's the past, and it's just starting from there, let's say, where you saw was about like 150%, 160 some percent. Obviously, it's not your fault because you didn't know about that previous history, because if you did, you knew this is just getting started. And on top of, sacrifice and all this other stuff, end of the year, whatever. But even that aside, because that's just cherry on top, that's just what HEX does. And this time around, there's even less liquidity in terms of HEX because a lot of it gets sacrificed, a lot of it is being removed, and those OA coins just sitting around allow the price appreciation to go much faster because the locking mechanism is really kicking in. Then you got the heavy onboarding. We're hitting that 2+ year mark when Richard said it best. This is when every major coin, that's really when the virality start to kick in after 2+ years. And you're seeing all the metrics pointing in that direction.